Hello, so I'm going to speak in English today. Thank you so much for everyone for coming for this special memorial service. My name is Florian von Oppenheim. My wife, Hotem, our children all live here. And as such, with the support of other fellow residents, we initiated the research on this Stolperstein project. We are here today to commemorate the lives of 3 victims of the Holocaust. Rosa Redlich, maiden name Löse, living from 1893 to 1943. Her husband, Bruno Redlich, 1897 to 1943. And her father, Hugo Löse, 1861 to 1942. By gathering today at the laying of these Stolpersteine, our community is connecting with the tens of thousands of others across this continent who have joined in similar acts of remembrance. With over 75,000 in existence, Stolpersteine are the largest decentralized memorial in the world, stemming from the original idea created in the 1990s by Cologne artist Gunter Demnig, who we had the good fortune of being here today to lay them personally. Stolpersteine are a most fitting way to memorialize these individuals by making them part of our lives and the architecture in our neighborhood. And by laying the stones here in particular, to serve as a small recognition of their lives and fate. As I am sure you already know, these plaques are engraved with the name of the individual, their year of birth, deportation destination, and date of death, if known. They are inlaid in the pavement of the individual's last known place of freely chosen residence, which in this case is Prenzlauer Straße number 7. Over a year ago, with the help of an Oxford University research intern, Tara Salaba, who unfortunately cannot be here today, we started to pursue lines of inquiry into the historical tenets of Prenzlauer Straße 7 and of the other entrance to the building on Knackstraße 7, to see if any victims of the Holocaust indeed did live here. This research, 1 year on, is what has led us to this ceremony today. I would like to take this opportunity to share with you what we have learned during the course of this research about our 3 victims. Both Rosa Löse and Bruno Redlich were born in Berlin in the 1890s and also got married together in Berlin in 1927. After which Bruno moved in with Rosa at this address. Rosa was a warehouse clerk and Bruno a traveling salesman. In 1943, shortly before their deportation, they were sent to a so-called Judenhaus in Weißenburger Straße. On March the 1st, Rosa was deported to Auschwitz in the 31st wave of the Osttransport. 2 days later, Bruno found himself in the 33rd wave of the Osttransport, also to Auschwitz, where they both perished. The fact they were not allowed to travel together in the last phase of their lives before being in the camp is another anecdotal sign of the brutality of Nazism. Lastly, our 3rd victim is Hugo Löse, Rosa's father. Hugo was born in Brandenburg, near today's border with Poland, in 1861. At the time of Rosa's birth, Hugo was a businessman and married to Pauline. Hugo was part of the 2nd large transport deportation of the so-called wave number 30 to Theresienstadt on September 14, 1942, as evidenced by the deportation list. This deportation action comprised of mainly elderly people of over 65 years of age living in Berlin. We also managed to find Hugo's internment card file, which is only one of 80 original microfilms of the Theresienstadt ghetto. This contained his name, date of birth, and then the date of his death in Theresienstadt. He was murdered shortly after his deportation, more precisely, exactly 2 weeks later. After the war, in October 1947, a lady named Ingeborg Pappas, maiden name Redlich, made a tracing request to the authorities regarding her missing Redlich family. But so far, we don't have any further details on this. For example, on all the personal possessions that were confiscated by the Nazis, although we are still reaching out to potential living relatives. If you wish, the facsimiles of the original documents we used in the research are available for viewing in a printout today. Yeah, we'll bring it out afterwards. The official historical records that we have offer, obviously, a very limited view of the lives of Rosa, Bruno, and Hugo. It is heartbreaking that we cannot find photographs, any more personal information, or living relatives for that matter. But on the other hand, at least that, the official records, which allowed for the Stolpersteiner, and in turn for us and future generations to not forget them, and indeed commemorate Rosa, Bruno, and Hugo. Regarding Knackstraße 7, Tara's work is ongoing, so at the moment not conclusive. The entire process of going through the archives, finding out what we can, and researching into the lives of these individuals over the past year has been a deeply moving experience. It highlights the continued importance of establishing memorials like this one. But none of this would have been possible without Dieter Zander of the Stolpersteiner Berlin organization, whom I would like to thank for his active support throughout the entire application process. I would also like to thank Tara Salaba in her absence, who did all the major research and inquiry throughout this year. And a big thank you for our clarinet player, Jonathan Renush. who also helped Mr. Sander with Stolperstein research. And again, thank you all for coming. Drinks will be served after we've spoken, so please do join us after. Now I'd like to turn to Mr. Sander and speak a little bit more about the Stolperstein initiative.
Yep.
Thank you.